So my wife broke her leg, and we have a lot of stairs in our home here, so I looked for a way for her to be able to get up and down the stairs, and I ended up making this stair lift. And here's how it operates. It's a 12-volt winch rated at 2,000 pounds. And for power source, I used a motorcycle battery that puts out 230 cranking amps. The winch only requires about 95, so this battery lasts quite a bit. It only draws about 3 amps out of the battery every time the winch is used for a full travel. This is 19 feet from one end to the other. So you have a lot of use. You only need to recharge it every 5 to 10 days, really. I used 1-inch angle here, aluminum angle for the structure, and a particle board here for the base. The wheels on this trolley are right here. They're a truck of 4, and there's 4 trucks, and they are for a pocket door. The track I use for these wheels, this is a steel indoor 2x4, and this angle iron is for a suspended ceiling. This is sort of cobbled together, but I used this because it was inexpensive and lightweight, and much cheaper than I looked at other things like steel channel and whatnot, and various other types of wheels that were several times more expensive. Underneath, I used a 1x4 to strengthen it, and then 2x4 ties, which I actually screwed right into the steps, which I don't think will matter because you won't be able to see it through the carpet when I take this up again. This is just a doormat carpet that I cut up and used here. Put it back on. There we go. Everything's put together mostly with a 1/4-inch machine screws and nuts and aluminum angle, although in the front here I used 1-inch square stock, and these are stainless steel bolts holding the winch on here. And I reinforced this section here with a 2x4 underneath for this high part. I had several issues I had to deal with, which I'll show in a minute here. First of all, there's in the trolley here, there's a 4-wheel truck here and a 4-wheel truck here, which is right underneath most of the weight of the person riding it. This is 32 inches long, and it doesn't have a truck under here, although I could have added one, but I didn't for other reasons, which I'll show in a minute. Then the footrest, I have angle irons, 90-degree angles irons here that I bent to fit this, and then just used plywood underneath here. The issue I had with not putting wheels here was I have 2 stairwells, and while this one could have I could have gone with a wheel there as well. I have another stairwell here that the issue was at the bottom of the stairwell I have a door. So I needed a way to get this upper trolley as low as I could without blocking the door with the track, which is why I don't have a wheel at the bottom of the trolley, but only here, so it can extend down to the door. The issues I ran into are most of these trolleys you see online have a seat on them, and the seat would be too high at one end and too low at the other. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, if I could get the seat down as low as the track, it would solve a whole lot of problems, which is why I came up with this. So it finally fell into place there. This particular run is 19 feet long here. The winch is a 12-volt winch rated at 2,000 pounds capacity, and like I said, the battery cranks at 230 cranking amps, which is we only drain about 3% per run with it, so it lasts for a long time. The stock here is all 1-inch angle aluminum, except for here, which I used the 1-inch square stock, which I needed to use because this needs to be really strong to hold the winch. I tried lighter weight aluminum and it was not enough, and this would start to bend. The width on this one is 16 inches. The one on the upstairs is 19, although I found that really is too wide and not really necessary. 16 inches works just fine. You can make the seat as wide as you want to above that. There were a lot of issues I had to work out. But as far as cost-wise goes, I would say each one of these cost me about $400 to build, half of that being the winch at $111 and the battery at $89. Here's a little couple photos of the items I used to build it. These are pocket door replacement tracks that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. That's what I used for the tracks. And I took these bolts out and put in 1/4-inch bolts with a nut on them. And then I had the various 1/2-inch or 1/4-inch bolts that I used here. And here's the winch, which you can get at the big box stores or online. And the battery, which I got at a local auto parts store. And at the top here, I simply used another 1-inch box and a U-bolt. So far, we've been running it for several weeks now, and these have stood up really well. Takes about 40 seconds to run from top to bottom. And the biggest issues with the track are where there are seams, which you have to crimp these down just a little bit so that the trolley will ride over them smoothly. And I use the handyman's secret weapon here to smooth them off a little more, duct tape. Overall, I've been really pleased with it. They're running really well, and they solved a lot of problems getting low enough to the floor that you didn't have the issues of sitting up too high on a chair up here. Rather, this is more like sitting down flat on a slide. And she's been really happy with it. It gets her up and down the stairs great.